Awesome. Welcome back to episode 4 of the Real Estate Den. Today we have Lewis out of Austin, Texas, and RJ out of Montenegro, here to share their knowledge and background and expertise in this beautiful real estate industry that we love. Lewis, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely, Megan. And first off, thank you for having me here. I'm very grateful. And my name again is Luis Renteria. I'm with Loan Depot. I'm out of Austin. I'm a mortgage lender. Been in the industry since 2005. Yes, I know I'm getting old, but I love this industry. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm here to share some information, some tips, some knowledge.
Awesome. RJ?
Yeah, so my name's RJ. I'm living in Montenegro. Of course, a lot of people want to know where the heck is Montenegro. If you go to the heel of Italy and then cross the Adriatic Sea on a boat, you're going to end up in Montenegro. If you go too far north, you're going to go to Croatia. Too far south, it's Albania. But yeah, I'm in Europe, and it might seem odd that I'm coming here from Europe and talking about real estate, but I actually am from America. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I was running a portfolio of property of a single family real estate rentals as a property manager out of South Dakota. Absolutely fell in love with the industry of property management side. And so I was able to relocate my family from the US to Montenegro. And so now I do consulting and I do a lot of the accounting work for property managers across the United States, as well as working as an advisor for people who want to offshore their real estate investments into Montenegro.
Awesome. And how long have you been in the industry?
Oh, yeah, I've been in the industry since 2018.
Okay, perfect. I have to ask anybody who's ever been in business before 2008, how was it? Like, how'd you do it?
It was definitely different. It was a wild, wild west, I like to call it. Um, for mortgage lenders and for real estate agents. Real estate agents were a bit more regulated, but mortgage lenders, we were not. We were just giving a business card and hey, go at it. It wasn't until 2008, the big crash, which was very interesting. Quick story. You have just imagine having five, six loans ready to fund on a Friday. Okay. And I still remember the lender. It was Lime Financial. Had them all with that lender. And I'm like, why isn't this loan funding? And I picked up the phone and called my rep or called the main office. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I got that message that the number you called is no longer in service. If you feel this recording, blah, 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 message. Anyways, company shut down like overnight. That's the kind of environment we were in. It was pretty intense. So there you have five loans that were supposed to fund, did not fund at closing. So you can imagine what that was like.
The chaos that would,
Yeah,
oh my God.
that's just a
The
little glimpse, right?
heartbreak. What did
Yeah.
you do? Did those five ever close? Like, were you
They
able to
did
find?
not. They did
Okay.
not.
They
It
were
was game
just,
over. Yeah, because remember, a lot of these were I call them the NINA, the no income, no asset verification, which
yeah.
was crazy. And yeah, they never, all the banks that were doing those loans, they closed, went belly up overnight. And that was the end of that and the beginning of the great crash.
Oh my goodness, I can't imagine. What's did you have, like, I'm sure you had to like pivot. Like what were those like pivot points? What did you do in your business when you realized that you were like, "Oh my God, everything's going to change." And like what did how kind of walk through that? I'm sure you were not, I mean, hindsight is 2020, but I'm sure you were a little bit nervous, like, right? Like it's you,
Yeah, Megan. Well, nervous is an understatement. I was freaked out. Um, but I quickly, because I'm a United States Marine, and I came into the industry with the intent to help other veterans, right? With their VA home loan. So I was, excuse me. So I was learning the guidelines of VA home loan guidelines. And when this happened, I really, really focused on my VA business and FHA and the down payment assistance programs and all of those sort of programs. And I focused on teachers, law enforcement, the recession proof type of buyers. And yeah, 2008 was really bad, but then 2009 was amazing, and 10 and 11, and it just took off from there. So I guess what I did was focus on the stuff that nobody wanted to work on because it was tedious. Like you had to learn new guidelines. I mean, you went from just imagine no income, no assets, top portion of the loan application. You didn't even have to put like the assets or any of that other
Oh
stuff or
my God.
employment. Okay, so the loan went through, it was like 14 days, boom, done. And on to the next, and on to the next. Easy. Now you have to actually be a loan officer and you have to look at the guidelines and make sure that things fit correctly. And a lot of agents or a lot of quote unquote agents, because they weren't even agents, they did not want to go through that pain. And I really had no choice because I was all in on this by this time. And yeah, it just started growing from there. It's a lot of hard work.
Absolutely. And you either like adjust and pivot or you don't, right? And you die essentially. Like if you when these big industry changes happen, um that's great. You already had the US Marine, the focusing on the VA. Like I think focusing on niches is such a huge thing to do in any sort of shift, right? And
Yeah.
it's nice to hear like that's a success story. Like I focused on my niche and I was like, I'm gonna do the work I need to do to get it done. Um Awesome. Let's pop over to RJ. You've been doing this since 2018. So in 2018, you started to manage single families in South Dakota, like all over South Dakota, or were you like in a specific region? Because I've got family in the Black Hills, actually. So I'm a little familiar with that area.
Yeah, so I was on the other side of the state, in Sioux Falls, which is the largest metro area in South Dakota. And so we're mainly focused around the Sioux Falls area.
Okay, cool. And those are just regular rentals, first month, last month with my dog kind of a
Yeah.
thing, not vacation. Okay. And you no longer do that. You transitioned. When did you transition over to Montenegro?
Yeah, so the whole process there was so I came in 2018, and so of course I wasn't in the industry during 2008, but being in property management during 2020 is probably comparable to what that experience was like. And so yeah, I had to go through 2020, and that was man, that was tough. Um, and basically there's ultimately it came to a point where it was more about my kids. Actually, my I have two kids that are autistic, and we're trying to figure out some better places for them to live where we can, like going to Texas or going to Florida where weather's warmer. It's too expensive, and so this is where it kind of led us to look at actually going abroad and finding some place that had some nice weather that we can afford to live on a single income. And yeah, that brought us to Montenegro, and we're like, let's go give us a shot. That's something I always wanted to do, was live abroad anyway. So the challenge was being able to figure out how to do that remotely. But with a lot of skills I learned during 2020, where things were becoming much more remote, I was able to basically leverage those skills and be able to start working for property management companies remotely. And there's at first I would set it up where I found a lot of property management companies across the country are looking for some people who have the experience, know how to do it, know how to work with fair housing laws, but they don't want to hire a full-time worker. They don't really have to work for a full-time person, but they want somebody who's really competent. And so I was able to start just doing contract work for people remotely, and where I'd be saying, all right, I'll do, 5 hours for this company, or, 10 hours a week for this company, and help with applications and, whatever's needed. And again, fortunately with, Google Meets or Zoom, and with all the voice over internet protocol phones like Ring Central, Dial Pad, all these things, really, most people have no idea that I'm even in Europe when I'm actually doing the work. And then from there, I also started noticing that the real big niche, the big area that a lot of people really needed some more help with, was on the accounting side. And so then I really started focusing pretty much entirely on the accounting work and helping the property management companies on accounting and bank recs and payables and all of that side of things.
Man, I'm so glad you do that stuff for people because I don't want to ever.
Exactly.
um I'm the broker owner of the Motion Homes Group, and I this morning was like, we don't do property management. Look at all these laws. See this? We're still not doing property management. Just there are people who do it really well, like RJ. And then there are like it's a whole nother game. And so you held a South Dakota real estate license then when you were doing
Mhm.
that, I assume, right? And then now
Correct. Yeah.
obviously you don't need one because you're not here. You're like the rogue property manager. You should like market that, right?
That should be your handle on Instagram or something.
It's not a bad one.
I love it. And I definitely like know there's a need. And so funny about 2020. I think we all learned like what meetings could have become emails. We learned like we don't really need like a physical space to gather, you know. I think while there was a lot of obviously pain that came from it, I think there's a lot of like good things that came as far as like professionally, like you said, we're able to
A lot of growth, right?
yeah.
I feel like a lot of good things came out of it. I think Megan she really hit it down. Like, does this have to be a meeting? Do we really all have to go somewhere to meet? You know, like it was kind of freeing and like, oh, I can work in my pajamas, you know, like it's just kind of a lot of good things came out of it and a lot of bad
It was
things,
game
but it was
changing.
absolutely.
And when I was because I went independent in 2019 to start building my brokerage, and then COVID happened. I was like, whoa, what horrible timing. But then I did. I was like, all these other big brokerages are going cloud-based. Why don't I go cloud-based? Like that actually makes my like the biggest piece of being a managing broker. The number one, I interviewed a bunch of managing brokers. They're all like, don't do it. The office is too expensive. Like that was their main reason, was the overhead of an office is too high. So I was like, well, that just kind of solved itself. So I guess so yeah, that's what were some
A
of
lot
the
of people still ask, they're like, where's your office? And I'm like, we don't have
wherever
an
you are,
office.
babe.
And when that's I said, I was like, we don't want an office, you know, like, and they're like, oh, that's true. And I'm like,
I
I
thought
used
about like
I used
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna share that I used to have a pretty big about 3,000 square foot office, had a bunch of my team working in it every day. I mean, it was a full house and host events and all that stuff. And this was in San Jose, California, because I'm originally from San Jose, California. Then COVID hit and poof, nobody would show up to the office and the lease was up. And I'm like, well, why am I going to renew this? So then I started working from home. No, everybody was working from home. I'm like, okay, so we don't need an office. Wait, do I need to be in California? And that's when I moved to Texas. And I'm sharing this story because a lot of my realtor partner agents, my referral partners, they didn't even know I moved to Texas. I kept it so quiet. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it cool. And everything was through Zoom. I upped my game with the Zoom. The camera, audio is super important, and then your digital marketing, which I want to talk about and share some insights on that. Digital marketing is huge, and eventually, after like 2 years, I'm like, yeah, you didn't know I was in Texas? And they're like, what? Get out of town. You're crazy. Yeah. So all these clients they've been meeting with you over Zoom? Like, I'm like, yeah. And they were referring me clients and they didn't even know. So it was it was so funny. It was so funny and great. But yeah, Zoom or COVID did change a lot of things for a lot of us.
Absolutely. Touch on the digital marketing. Kind of what are your, if you could give like, I'm like, for the digital marketing, like explain it like we're eight, right? Because I think a lot of people aren't like so savvy. Like what makes like what's good digital marketing? What's worked? What's not worked? What do you?
Digital marketing is huge. It's a huge part of your prospecting strategy. Okay, I've taken when I moved out here. We had a lot. Started having a lot of free time because business slowed down. Right, rates doubled, and now I'm like, uh-oh, it was another 2008 moment for a bit. I'm like, well, let me double down on video content, and I started creating these somewhat what is the word, like cringeworthy videos, and it was like, oh my God, I hate looking at myself. Oh, this sounds horrible. And it was just, I was so hard on myself. And eventually I just kept going, and I just kept pushing, and it started to work out. Now, I noticed that a lot of people, they take this approach on especially on Facebook and Instagram. They create all these videos, these reels and all this stuff, and that's all they do as real estate agents or loan officers. And you have to understand that that is just kind of a support system for your overall strategy. Okay, so you start creating all these videos, you get good at them, and you're like, where's my business? I'm supposed to get leads. Well, you're not going to get leads from that. What you need to do is kind of establish your ethos, right? For instance, I recommend a restaurant here in Austin. It's the best restaurant in the world. You got to come check it out, Megan. And what's the first thing you likely do once I give you the name?
Google it.
Google it. Exactly. What if they have videos? What if they have posts? What if there's information about that restaurant there, and you're able to get more of a sense of what it is? Would that be helpful?
Absolutely.
Right. So that's the same thing with video content, with digital marketing. Like, you want to post these videos, not so that the customers come flying in. Oh yeah. No, it's so that when you get that referral, when you get that, somebody talks about you, it's kind of like that checkbox that you check off. And again, it's a different approach. I'll just say it, picking up the phone and calling people is the best prospecting strategy. And then you
Yep.
layer the email marketing, the drip campaigns, the mailers, the digital marketing, all that other stuff complements that. But you still have to pick up the damn phone and
Yep.
get to it. And that's it. That's the bottom line. So
Yep.
that's all I have to say about digital marketing.
How frequently do you think you should be posting? Because I feel like that varies for a lot of different people.
Post once a day,
Once a
a
day.
bit, a reel once a day.
Okay, one reel once a day. That's a
What?
lot
Yeah.
to do. Um,
It's once you get in the habit, you have to.
yeah.
Like, you will. And it's all about habit. And there's a really cool app. I have no affiliation with them. I went through all this pain, and maybe I can save some of the listeners that same pain. It's called Captions AI. It's an Apple app, and it's like $45 for the year. Amazing. It's the best one out there. There's CapCut, and there's all these other ones out there, but I already tested all of them. I'm
This is the
tired.
one. Captions AI
Yeah,
is it. And give him some free stuff, Captions AI, for the marketing here.
no kidding. No
Let him
kidding.
let him sponsor.
And you're posting reels on TikTok once a
On
day,
TikTok, so now
Instagram.
yeah, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I like hit them all.
Oh, okay.
And
And I
LinkedIn.
do it through another site called loomly.com. LOOMLY. So then
Okay.
you got to keep those videos under 60 seconds. Usually you want around 35 to 40 seconds. And if you just go through the Captions AI app, it's so beautiful because you can just open this app, click on, hey, I don't know what to talk about. I need a topic. What's the write me a video script on um, the importance of staging a home. Click, and it will write everything for you, and then it'll put it on a teleprompter right there on the app. Now you read it. All you do is hit record, you read it. And I know you're reading it, you're not really looking at the camera, but it has AI where it will fix your eyesight as if you're looking at the camera. And then it has all
Wow.
the zoom features
That's
and it has
crazy.
captions. Yes, it's insane. So highly recommend it. Once you have that video, you upload it to Loomly, and then right there you got to log into your Instagram. You got to log into your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all your social media, and you just do it once and you post it. You could schedule it, and then it just goes out automatically. And
You
you're
could
like,
record
oh,
in theory like 5 or 6 videos in a sitting, and then you're done for the week.
yes.
Great. That's some good stuff. I've got like the notes here, and I'm gonna submit on both their websites to give you a little shout out or Starbucks gift card or something.
Yeah.
RJ, with your move, I mean, you were in property management in 2020. You moved to a freaking new country, and you work like across the literal pond for most of your business. Like, how have you been relying on digital marketing? What's kind of your strategy with that? Did you experience the same where people didn't quite notice that you had left?
So I have a podcast I started called the PMP podcast, which I was doing really well with for a while. A bunch of stuff happened at the very beginning of this year, and so I've went on an extended hiatus, and I'm trying to reestablish that. And so I'm actually getting a new space that I'm going to be setting up a new office space here. And setting up a separate studio for that. But yeah, doing the podcast was something that was really good. Gave me a lot of what's one of the benefits of doing podcasts and why I like doing podcasts is it helps you network remotely. So I'm sitting down with people who have property management companies across the United States, who have expertise in things like digital marketing, who have are investors, all these sorts of things that I build up connections with these people. And then as far as creating that content, I can just go into this podcast, and I do video podcasts, and I can cut out sections of that podcast that I think are noteworthy and use those for reels. And it's something that was working very well for me. But again, it is something where a part of the challenge I ran into was trying to do 2 podcasts a week and just doing it on my own. And that was becoming really challenging to also go in, do editing on the podcast and to get all cleaned up. And so I'm probably going to bring it down to just one a week once I get back to it. I'm hoping by January 1st, I'll be able to start doing those again. But I do want to plug that a little bit because I do have some episodes on there that relate to that. And there's one particular episode with Nick Niehaus. Nick Niehaus on the PMP podcast. You can find it on YouTube as well as Spotify and other places. But Nick Niehaus, he is someone who specializes in teaching realtors about how to do video production. And so if you're looking for someone who is there to train you and then show you all the ins and outs and knows your specific industry, he's a great person to talk to. And I have a whole hour-long podcast where he gives some tips about that. And I also have a background in video production as well. And so I think it's a really good episode there. And then there's I also have a couple episodes as well, if you look on the channel, about digital marketing. Again, it's for more focus for property managers, but a lot of it's going to apply to realtors in general. But one big advice I want to give for people who are looking to do more of digital marketing is actually there's a book called My Life in Advertising. This is a really old book. I think it's from the 1920s when advertising was a new thing. And it's the author, he's talking about his experience getting into advertising. And there's several anecdotes from there that have really stuck with me through over the years. But there's one situation where he's needing to advertise a beer company, and they're showing him walking through this at the place. I can't remember what do you call the place they make beer? The distillery,
Brewery.
like,
Brewery.
brewery. Thank you, brewery. Yeah, they're walking through a brewery, and they're showing, oh yeah, here's all the steps that we go, and all the exacting details they take to make the beer. And it's like, wow, it's so fascinating. You should be just telling people you do that. So like, well, yeah, but it's just like basic beer making. It's like, yeah, but nobody knows that. Since you're in the industry, you're so close to what you're doing that it's so familiar to you. But people who are outside of that industry, it is so novel, so unique, so interesting, and it makes you seem like you have all this credible knowledge. And so pushing this back into real estate, oftentimes people who are not in the industry don't have the understanding of some very basic things. And you can look and say, well, there's all sorts of people online that are talking about these things, that have followings, that have said the same thing. And that's true, but they will oftentimes have their own group of people, and being able to say the same things that other people have said, and maybe just putting your own twist on it, your own style. You can build an audience by just talking about very mundane, normal things that any realtor would be able to tell you. But the difference is you're the one actually saying it, and the other people aren't, and that's why they'll follow you. So don't try and think you have to be over creative. Talk about the mundane things, and that'll be enough for a lot of your content.
You don't have to recreate the wheel. Just make it work for your audience.
Yep, exactly.
I love that. And I just, just showing up, right? Like if you show up,
Mhm.
you're and you keep putting it out there, and then that's it. And I think that's a lot. Like the number one thing I've heard from agents, because people have been telling agents in the real time, I've been doing this since 2015. They've always come into the office and been like, you need to be on video. And 8 out of the 10 realtors are like, but I hate how I look and sound. And everybody's like, but that's how you look and sound. But it's just like it's such like a hard hurdle to kind of get through, like, and I think that's just such a good reminder. Like, yeah, it's just going to be the mundane. And overall, success is simple, right? If you get too overlooked, I honestly believe that agents run in and a lot of in just real estate in general. I think we're like, there's just too much. Like you get your real estate license and everybody wants to sell you leads and everybody wants to do this and everyone wants to do that. And focus on three ways that you're generating your real estate conversations. And there's a ton of ways to do that.
Yeah.
RJ, you mentioned that you're having trouble. Here's another tip, right? Value add, of course. You were having trouble, or not trouble, but it was taking a lot of time to create those reels. And I use this service called opus.pro, and I'll send it as well in the comments. But it again, it's all AI. You just put the link of it could be a file or it can be the YouTube link, and it will separate like key clips, and then you could just download them and use them for your reels. And I just wanted to add that because you mentioned that, and
That's
I
cool.
want to try to help.
Oh, great tip.
But like I said, there's just so many things that you just get like really overwhelmed with it, like I don't offer a CRM to my agents because I feel like a broker offering you a CRM is wanting your contacts from you. And B, not every agent uses the correct CRM the way that they should, right? So it's not, so hearing this has worked for me specifically, I think goes really far because like you said, you've tried all of the other video and the CapCut and this and that. And to hear that they'll script it for you too, like there's no reason we all shouldn't be doing reels with our faces and talking about regular things that we know about. And I don't know what it comes from, but like us in general, we're very nervous about talking about what we know about, and we're kind of worried that people are gonna, take it personally or get offended. And I think people do, but not as often as we think they do. And I don't know, like they're not gonna bite you, right? Like what are you
Right.
thinking about?
What, right. You got to think, what's the worst that could happen? It's just a video. And I host these lunch and learns from time to time, and it's on video. Like, okay, let's create a video. They start stuttering, very well spoken, in professional individuals. I'm like, okay, just relax and just start talking about it. And I just hit record, and we just start talking. And then I'm like, okay, so let's go ahead and do it. And then they kind of ease into it. So there's little ways. I guess you got to just practice and get used to it.
Does role playing help with video, I wonder? Because like when I used to do cold calls, like it would help to kind of run through with a couple people. Like, is that a skill that you got to kind of hone in on?
I I think so. I think so.
So actually, what I recommend doing is, if you can do it, try and find an improv class. In
Oh.
college, I was part of an improv group, and the skills that I learned in improv group, it was about comedy in that case, but there's still a lot of skills that were probably the most valuable thing I got from my college experience. I'm not exaggerating. So if you can find an improv group, get those classes, that is really it's gonna be a lot of fun. You're gonna have a blast doing it. And I'm an introverted person, so by nature. So it's not something like if you're going to say, well, I'm too introverted to do that. No, just get over yourself. There's a my unofficial when I was doing my property management back in South Dakota, I had a team, and my unofficial slogan was a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote, which is just or do the thing and you'll have the power.
Love that
And
one.
so it's like just like I apply that to everything, just do the thing, good, and you'll have the power to be able to succeed. So yeah, improv is a great way to build up the skills.
Okay.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Megan?
I'm gonna look into some improv, man. This
Oh,
is
heck yeah. RJ, that was an amazing
I just keep
suggestion. Thank you.
I just keep thinking of Michael Scott and his like
Oh,
wanting
yeah.
to put a gun in every single scene.
yes.
Well, we actually so the company I was working for, the property management, they actually they actually have a company-wide improv class for the employees. Now in the case, one of the actual president of the company, he had a master's of fine arts from Yale in theater, so he had the experience to be able to actually an expertise to teach that class. But yeah, we actually because of the value that it brought, we actually had an improv class for the company for all the employees just to build up the skills because they are so valuable.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but that would make so much sense. And yeah, I mean, I don't even have to go to improv class to know if I spent an hour doing that, I would be like ready to do video. Like I wouldn't be scared of nothing. Like
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a chore at that point, right? You're just having fun.
right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm digging. Thanks, RJ. This is cool.
Well, and I think it just comes from, I think a lot of it is rooted in confidence. Like, I think in general, we just overall need to be more confident in who we are and realize, like, as long as you're not out there, like, screwing people over or stealing or, biting people, like, you're okay. Like, you're not, no one's, like you can show up and be the professional, right? And you can make a video with your opinion and like that's fine, and even I mean heck, all of our presidents do teleprompter when they speak to us anyway. Like why can't we do the same thing and have an AI
And they're not always on point too. So
Right.
Well, Louise, that question for you actually. So what are your thoughts about how do I phrase this? Hot take videos. So basically, the idea that you actually talk about your hot takes in the industry in a sense that these are things that a lot of people might disagree with the intent of building up some controversy and to actually having other people go and say, oh, this, Louise, he is so wrong about this, and I'm going to tell you why he's all wrong. And maybe you are. You can accept that. But have you ever done anything like that? Do you have any experience doing any kind of content like that?
I have not. I've kept it pretty simple, kind of like what you discussed earlier. You said, hey, just do the mundane, the typical vanilla stuff. So I haven't. Maybe after this improv class, I'll feel spicy to do it.
Because yeah,
spicy is a great word.
That's something where I feel like if you do that and because what you're doing is again, I realize that's probably not the great place to start, but as you start getting more experience and you start getting the comfort talking on the camera and comfort with your own opinions and things, you can just, state your opinion and allow it to give yourself the confidence that this is who I am. And if you don't like it, that's fine. I'm going to stick with this. And the people who agree with you are really going to end up siding with you. And I think you can get a lot of benefit from that. I haven't done a lot of it, so I'm not speaking from my personal experience, but I see this happen a lot on YouTube. And so it's another direction people can go to kind of help separate themselves from the pack as well.
You're
Well, and I
absolutely.
feel
I can
like
see
once you get that controversy going on your page, you're also hitting those algorithms where it's gonna show your stuff to more people, the more people interact with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
and it's true,
So
the right
this-
people will align.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this improv class, I don't know why it's making me nervous and excited and happy at the same time. What's going on? Because I'm pulling stuff up here and
Oh,
Well, what I did the improv
Already
class I
looking up.
had was at something like 10 o'clock at night, and I was working at a TV station at the time, and I had to be up for the morning news at 4 o'clock in the morning. Still totally worth it. So just
Oh, God.
just go for it and have fun.
Maybe we'll do
Yeah,
a virtual real estate den improv, inspired by RJ for everybody. All the guests we do an improv before your episode airs or something, because that would be wow. Oh my goodness. I wish we could talk like for hours and hours and hours. This is all such good stuff. You guys are so knowledgeable, and I love how you both happen to get on the same one about like working like remotely and how to like use your technology and advantage. Like this was really awesome. Final thoughts, and tell us where we can find you and what who you're looking for. I know that even though you're out of Texas, you've got, you can help home loans all over the country. So yeah, just closing thoughts and
yes, Megan. Well, just thank you again for having me on here. And I'm here to help whoever, like whether it's digital marketing, just some advice, mortgage loans, real estate, any sort of real estate training I can help with. I'm there. I never really like to say, oh, well, send me business, do this, do that. Nah, that comes. I'm here to help and serve, and it just magically comes back. It's weird, right? So you can find me at luisrenteria.com. And that's my link tree, and then all my information's on there.
awesome. RJ.
Yeah, so I have the PMP podcast. So if you go into Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you can find me on any of those places. Again, there's not a lot of activity for probably like the past 9 months because just been on it also that's been going on. But yeah, basically, if you are someone who's a property manager or you're looking at starting a property management business as part of your brokerage and you're looking for some advice, I come with the idea that there's a lot of bad reputations that property managers get. And my mission is basically to be able to correct those bad connotations that people have with property managers, to show the upside. You don't have to be a slumlord. That property manager and slumlord are not synonymous, and to also help property management companies put processes in place and put strategies in place in order to be profitable and be successful at their businesses. So if you are interested in that, you can contact me at RJ at the PMP podcast, and I'll be happy to talk with you. Also, if you're interested in being a guest on the PMP podcast, have a property management company, I'm looking for people who have crazy stories from property management. This is a big thing I really want to be talking about. I have some crazy ones that involve boxes of human feces. So if you want to hear about that, I think I talked about it in one of my episodes already on YouTube. So if you have some stories like that, I really want to hear and talk about it on my podcast.
Wow.
And then if you are an investor and you're curious or interested in knowing about offshoring your real investment, want to know about the benefits about that, you can go to buyrealestate.me. That's buyrealestate.me. And again, there's an email address on there as well. And you can reach out to me. And again, if you just have questions, I'm happy to talk. And there's no commitments, no nothing. Just answer questions there. So that's kind of more of a side business than my property management stuff. But it's something I'm really interested in helping people with. So yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you, gentlemen. And then I forgot my one question. I always ask about morning routines. So tell us really fast what you guys do, if you do anything in the morning that helps you get ready for your day.
Yeah, so I go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, just because again the time difference. So my morning routine is I wake up about 10 o'clock in the morning. And since I kind of have a backwards day for most people, so I have more free time before US time hits. So I have a lot of stuff, just free time in the morning. So I'll typically wake up and go out to a cafe and have coffee with my wife while kids go to the playground.
That's awesome. So what, I guess,
Sounds lovely.
what time is it there now? Because it's almost 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time.
7 p.m., almost 7 p.m.
Oh my goodness, today, but it's the 15th. So you're like in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm in the future. And it's looking bright and beautiful, so no worries,
Beautiful.
guys.
I was going to ask, are we okay? Good.
Yeah.
My morning ritual is so structured, it's boring. My day is so boring. Okay, so 6 a.m. wake up, and I'll do some light workout for about 20 minutes. And then I'll hit sauna here at home. I'll hit the sauna, and then for about 30 minutes, and then I have my ice bath. Okay, so I'm that one of that. I got one of those. I'll sit there for 10 minutes, sauna. Once I'm out of that, then I go do some affirmations, and then I journal. And then I finally kind of just relax, have a little bit of time for myself, drink some coffee. Then I get ready, set up my day, and then get ready, shower, shave, all, fix my beautiful hair.
Shine it
And
up.
and and then I come back and I attack the day, and then that's time blocked accordingly, prospecting and all that stuff. And then in the evening, that's when I'm a big jujitsu practitioner and
Okay.
enthusiast. So in the evenings, then I hit the my actual workout, and then I repeat it the next day. So it's so structured, it's kind of boring. It's like, okay, let's go.
But that's
Okay.
what keeps you at your performance level. And I'm a huge journal in the morning. I tell everybody, if you don't have a morning routine, just start to journal in the morning. Just
And if you don't, Megan, you bring this up. If you don't know what to say, just three things you're thankful for. And if
yep.
you can't think of three things, every day I still do this. And this is my, it's kind of odd, but think about it. It's going to put things to perspective. I thank my pillow, just my pillow, for supporting my big head every night, okay, while I sleep. What if I didn't have my pillow? My neck wouldn't be supported. I'd be hurting. I don't know. So thank you, pillow, for supporting my big head.
Yeah.
And then you
Okay.
could go thank the microwave for being there, or the refrigerator for being there. Hey, thank you for keeping my food cool, and you not letting it go to waste. Have a conversation with the fridge. Why not? That's showing gratitude, because it's true. What if you didn't have a fridge? Some people don't.
And sometimes your fridge goes out. Like, I mean, even if, like our washing machine was broken. We live in a rural area and we couldn't get repaired for like a week. So I had to go to laundromat. I tried to clean them on my bathtub. Like I was pioneering it. And I was folding laundry yesterday and I was like, oh my God, I'm filled with so much gratitude folding this laundry. This is awesome. Like getting that loss, if you can kind of use that to, and I've never been grateful to fold laundry. Usually I'm like a pile person, it just kind of keeps getting out of there.
The clean pile, the dirty pile,
Right. Right. I got stuff to do.
Maybe I'll wear it again pile.
Maybe wear it again. Yeah.
The minute. Well, cool.
I do that all the time. I'll make sure to hang it. That way it's like getting aired out, and I somehow feel that kind of extends the use another time.
Right. We all have that's so funny. Well, cool. Well, I thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We are looking forward to getting this going. And you guys, I mean, I've got notes and notes and notes of awesome stuff. Yeah, everybody knows where to find you. And thank you so much.
All right, Megan. Thank you. It was very nice to meet all of you. Very
Thank
great.
you, Megan. It's been a blast.